Well, here we are today, up in the high country actually, checking out some old mining sites. I'm gonna go dig into this and see what we find up here. There it is. An old headworks up there. A lot of little prospect holes in the hillside. Maybe it becomes a video, maybe it don't. Got to cross a little creek down here. Some of the very last of the very nice days in this country to get out here and take a look at something before the snow gets too deep. A little more back in the mining side of the world. I was just thinking about it. As many as these little creeks and rivers and things as I cross in life, you people might start wondering if I actually do like the desert and like it dry. Sometimes the best places are the ones you gotta hike through a creek to get to. This is kind of interesting one. This whole tree. One time she came up there, something serious happened. And it dove way over there as the top, but that branch came out of the side of it. Kind of an interesting thing to see. Looking at the trees in here, a few of these have had some issues somewhere in life that have caused them to grow a little funny. I don't even know what we got here. It's an interesting little weird piece, but I don't know what it was. That right there would be one of the reasons you dig at this. It's a really highly metamorphosized rock from a volcano. We got this, I'm gonna say they had a foundation bolted in here onto these, and it probably came out off of that structure up there, bringing ore out here. May have been nothing more than a little track, but step around so we can see this. Still not showing up very well. Step off the edge. That area where that foundation was is just right between those trees. Right below that structure, and you can tell they dug this area out to get a flat spot in here for, I'm assuming they were loading ore out of the mines up above down to this area and taking it out for better refining. That right there is a really deep driven piece of pipe. I'm assuming in the location it's at was probably a guide wire for whatever was mounted to the foundation down there on the flat spot. Just a real interesting piece of quartz that comes out of this kind of country that's some really highly metamorphosized rock here. Edge of the San Juans, definitely volcanic, metamorphic rocks in this area. That is one sparkly piece of stone. With the volcanic activity, you get fissures in the rock as it's starting to cool, and the heavy water, as they call it, full of minerals and stuff, starts creeping into those cracks and depositing things in them. That's where you start finding a lot of golds and silvers and different things in those little fissures and cracks. Kind of how the veins of quartz also wind up in there. A fissure between the hard rocks, that heavy water starts depositing the minerals in it. Here we are on top of that structure. There's buddy EJ down there doing some metal detecting. From here, it's easier to see that group of trees is on that flat spot. It's kind of cool. Keep wandering up the mountain here and looking at things. See what comes along next. Take a closer look at this structure here. They were definitely found something worth digging out. There was a fair amount of time and effort put into building this. I had to cut some big timbers and drag them. I mean, we're in the country of bigger timber, but this was still a lot of effort to build this little dock area here. Take a look at that rock. See the swirls and twists in that thing? That's because it was cooling volcanic lava settling in. When it became taffy-like, the curls and swirls stayed with it. And the miners were digging for these things here. These little veins of quartz pop up in between those fissures. It's not showing up very well, but let's see if we can figure this thing out here. Right there. Little trail here. Circling up the mountain from that dock area. Would have been the old trail they hauled the ore on. We'll chase this thing over here a ways and see what comes up next. Ooh, I see a tailings pile. Mosey over here and take a look at this thing. See if there's anything more to this area. So today we are on a mining claim that is still sort of active. It is bought and paid for, so we do, however, have permission from those owners to be out here and taking a look. Possibly help them get something up and actually functional. It's where it at least pays for itself. Yeah, my buddy EJ, that dude knows his mining shit. There's an interesting little pockmark in the earth there. Let's dig back up to this. Oh, here we go. Now look at that. It's timbered down. It's not timbered very deep. Definitely been eroded away here. At some point they deemed it worth a ladder down this. Slip down here because it's not very deep. Take a look at what we got under here. Huh. That's some interesting geology right there. This right here, it's gonna be some high iron stuff. This being this orange rock already, there's another streak. That's some heavy iron just because of the darkness and the color in it. So, come back up out of this hole. That's not very deep, it's kind of cute. Nice little old ladder they built into it. I'm assuming they thought they had something here and then abandoned it after a while. Oh, well, I'm moving slower than I did a couple weeks ago. Pretty interesting. Lots of work, lots of effort. Don't know if it ever paid. Maybe down the road here we'll see if it ever paid. I'm just standing here looking out across this country. Because of the volcanic activity, it is very chopped up. We got this over here is a big rock butte. And then right on the other side of that, rocks covered in probably standard dirt and gravels. But wherever the volcano pushed the lava up through it, it sure broke the country into pieces. Kind of like right over here. There's another little set of diggings right over there. Brings me back to that thought that gold is where you find it. The old miners, just changing color, really would make them think that maybe there's something we're chasing around on this hill looking for. Otherwise, fairly unremarkable place. We're going to keep working ourselves on up. Yeah, get ourselves up there to that headworks, take a look. I understand there's a pretty serious shaft up there. I brought the ropes and things. We might go exploring deeper into the earth today, instead of just staying on the surface. We'll just see what the day does. Found a pretty interesting specimen of rock here. Shows a lot of things in one piece. Got a nice vein of quartz running through that. See the sparkle in that too. Hopefully we can see the sparkle in it. Around that quartz, you start flipping it on end, come on camera, focus it. There we go. That top ½ inch tapers down to almost nothing on there. Get it shifted in the light, you can see all the shimmer in that. First thoughts, probably leads, maybe some silvers. There we are. Top of the structure we were checking from below. It's a cute little prospect hole. This vein of quartz is probably what they're chasing through here. Small timbers. Yeah, that was their dump to get it off the hill. Had probably a small ore car running back and forth on that. This may have been a little on-site cabin area to stay while working. And then we have a hole. Yep. There we go, a little more light. Not near as deep as I was thinking we were looking at. But I think we're gonna go get the rope bag. I'm gonna come back and do a little climbing. But let's take a little look around here for a minute. Size, shape, and things here. Nothing else is a machinery shed area. Go to the far side of it, look back. Boxed in structures. Another post probably. Definitely a nice little dug in area here. Sheet metal for roofing. This may have been their little stay shack when they were up here working. Their ore dump's pretty cool to look at though. Very, very rudimentary, but I would just about guarantee had railroad track on it. Clear out to the end and dumped her off the edge into a wagon to take it down the hill. Ooh, it's a little loose. Don't play with that. Yep, I think we're gonna drop a bag and make the second climb for today. Gotta go clear back down to the river. Left that heavy bag down there. Man, these old dump sites are scree fields from making things rough on you. Pretty awesome, the old engineering that goes into these old mine places. Love coming and looking. Well, here we are. Dusty looking back up out of the hole here. I knocked a bunch of dirt loose coming in, but I mean, we got some jumble of timbers and rock down here. And that hole keeps going on down.
Does it have just a straight vertical hole, looks like, or is there little adits going to the left and right?
No, there's no adits on it. It keeps trucking down here, pushing to the left side and down below the timbers, but I don't think it goes more than another 20 feet below me. They were chasing this vein down through here. I know they were. I'm gonna study it a little closer and see what we come up with. See what other things we find in this little mess. Oh, that's some neat stuff to look at there. We'll go get a look at that. I said it was worth taking a look at it. Getting close.
Good.
Look at the materials in that one.
It still carries gold though. I crushed it up.
Just the tiniest intrusion of good material there. Well, it's not a very exciting hole. Definitely not a very deep hole. From that 30 feet down to that rubble pile. It probably goes another 10, 15 feet below that. You can see where they're chasing a quartz vein down through there, and there's a very, very thin band of material. I'm gonna look around and prospect a little now. The reason there's so many holes in this mountain out there is because that hillside is just riddled with veins of quartz that have come up through the ground. So those prospectors went in there and just found every one of those little veins of quartz and started chasing them just to see what was there and see if they could chase enough gold out of it to make it viable. When they quit, the price of gold may not have been worth the effort. It's possible now the gold may be worth the effort at this point. So, with permission from the owners and a little bit of ingenuity, we may make a few more videos of that area and see if we can't pull a little something out of it to make it worth it. Help the owners get something back out of their investment. We'll see how that comes along in the next year. Well, I want to say probably one of the last of the beautiful days out here, especially at this elevation. Interesting day. But yeah, beautiful clear blue skies. Interesting day. something cool to look at. Don't know if we'll really like it much, but see if I can keep my big fat head from blocking the sun there. Anyway, for now, we'll go across the river, take a few samples. I think we figured this place out. Go home, call it a week. And I hope everybody else has a great week. And we'll see you out here on the next time. Looking for the creek crossing and we've seen this. Yeah, those are icicles. Like I say, it's getting cold out here. This time I mean it. Y'all have a great week. We're gonna find our crossing and get back to the truck. Till next time, we'll go out somewhere in the desert. We'll see you then.